comics? Oh no.
Ah, Julie, my old friend. You do realize I've taken all the comics because, quite frankly, I'm an evil Muppet, and I'm quite proud of that fact. So, you'll have to read all the Halloween Haunt comics this week. There are no superhero books this week for you. Well, except for the, superhero Halloween Haunt ones. But anyway, being an evil Muppet, you have to read all these books. Oh, and tell Jim he has to read some too.
Hi folks, it's Jim and Julie. Well, that's Jim. I'm Julie. Wait, Jim? Jim, what you doing? Jim?
Oh, sorry, you caught me on my day off from repoing.
I see. Alright. So...
those are some mighty nice organs there, Julie.
They're my organs, fully paid for and everything.
You're sure about that? Do I have to check?
No.
Alright. Well, let's get to some comic book reviews, shall we? It's Halloween!
It's a spooktacular day.
And who are you hiding from, by the way?
I'm hiding, I'm disguised. Evil Muppet Jim has come and he's stolen all of our comic books.
Well, he does that. He's kind of, you know...
Evil?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we have to read all of the... Well, we have to review all of the books, and I thought it would behoove me to hide from him.
I see.
So, Book 1, Ultimate Spider-Man and Earth's Mightiest Heroes Avengers. Spider-Man, in the Spider-Man story, Peter Parker is living a life of an average teenager while he's still studying to be the ultimate Spider-Man that he can be under Principal Coulson at his high school. But the teachers...
Principal Coulson!
Principal Coulson, you heard that right. His teachers are getting frustrated, though, because he's missing too many classes. So Principal Coulson's come up with a fantastic idea. He's replacing Peter Parker with a mandroid.
Well, if that doesn't sound wrong, I don't know what does.
Exactly. So you can only imagine the shenanigans that happen when Peter Parker's been replaced by an android. Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes, we have Mandarin attacking Stark Towers with a giant Chinese dragon.
Yay.
Yep. It's pretty good, though. I enjoyed it. I mean, who can go wrong with Mandarin and a giant Chinese dragon? So, overall, good book. I really liked the bit in the middle where they gave you some background information on Iron Fist. I was pretty fond of that. You should definitely consider picking one of these up if you have small children who like the Avengers.
Alright. Next up, we have Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
How were the turtles in a half shell?
They were pretty green and mean, as always. But, alright, so basically this is another version of the Heroes in Green's origin.
Again?
Again. An all-new origin for another generation.
How many times can we have a Turtles origin?
This is at least the 5th, I'm pretty sure. But this one, they're basically lab animals being tested on, and that's pretty much it. April knows them since birth and everything, and she's working in a lab. It's interesting. And the fact is that the original creator is involved with this book.
That's kind of good.
That's always a good thing. But unless you're a gigantic Ninja Turtle fan, I mean, there's really nothing here that will interest you. Because, quite frankly, we've all seen the origin before.
Yeah.
Why do we need another one? It's just kind of silly. But if you're a fan of Ninja Turtles, this one might be up your alley. But if you want my recommendation on anything Ninja Turtles, watch the new TV series. It's actually pretty fun.
Up next for me, I have Strawberry Shortcake and Scouts. In Strawberry Shortcake, it's Valentine's Day, And Strawberry Shortcake needs some help in the cafe. But what happens when her help turns out to be more of a hindrance? She has a second story as well. It's about her kitty. Her kitty's name is Custard. And she gives Custard the job of protecting a chiffon cake from anything happening to it. Yep.
Children, please do not give your pets chiffon cakes. It will kill them!
Kitties are not responsible enough to protect a chiffon cake. I should know. I am one today. And for Scouts, their troop leader, the squirrel, is taking them through and teaching them, helping them get their merit badges about pets. It's a pretty cute story, full of shenanigans. I enjoyed both of them.
Alright, next up, we have Tales from the Crypt.
Guys, is it just me, or do I recognize that laugh?
I don't know. Anyway, this one features 4 classic tales, including Bats in My Belfry, Lower Berth, Mirror Mirror, and By the Fright of the Silvery Moon. Alright, so you get to learn the origins of some of the hosts of Tales from the Crypt in
That's
this one.
nice.
And there's some interesting stories here that are classics, mind you, but this is not for kids.
Alright.
Very much so. Not for kids.
Noted.
There's a lot of gore, there's a lot of, well, really bad things that happen to people in these particular books.
So this would be for the more grown-up trick-or-treaters.
Exactly, yeah. This would be more for mid-teens to late 20s, I'd say. If you're a fan of the old Tales from the Crypt, either whether it be the comics or the TV series, or heck, even the 2 movies, less said about those the better, but I quite enjoyed it, and it's really nice to see some classic-style art represented here for the free Halloween Comic Day.
Good. Next for me, Johnny Boo and Harold in Trickytreaters. In this one, Johnny Boo endeavors to protect all of his ice cream from the evil monsters who are going to steal it for Halloween.
You evil monsters trying to steal ice cream.
I don't know how anybody could do it. That's the most evil.
Oh, that's just evil, evil, evil,
Yep.
evil, evil.
What's worse? In Harold's portion of the book, he forgot about Halloween. Thankfully.
How can you forget about free candy?
And free comic books.
Yeah.
I don't know,
That's
but he
ridiculous.
did. But he talks about friendship and how his bat buddies have had his back.
Who needs friends when you got candy? That's a joke, people. That's a joke. Alright, next up, we have Axe Cop. Written by a 6-year-old.
Real?
Drawn, yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
And drawn by his 30-year-old brother. In this one, you learn the origins of Axe Cop and all his friends. This is also not for kids.
Alright.
Very much so. Mind you, yes, it is written by a 6-year-old, who's now 8, mind you, but fantastic. It is utterly hilarious. Just the writing alone makes you laugh out loud. It's just that silly.
Nice.
You got unicorn babies in here, you got dinosaur cops, a whole bunch of weird stuff that could only come from the mind of a 6-year-old. So, if you are a fan of Axe Cop, this reprints the original webcomics that basically started the entire franchise, as it were.
Okay.
And yeah, it's a franchise. It's got games and a whole bunch of other stuff coming out now. So,
wow.
Yeah, this is where it all began with these particular strips. So if you want to see the origins of Axe Cop and you're a bit older, check this one out. I quite enjoyed it and I had a good laugh.
Alright. Next up for me, Batman Adventures and Scooby-Doo Where Are You?
Right.
In Batman Adventures, we start off with a couple of stories. We've got a story about the Crusader, who ends up being Batman's newest villain. He pretends that he's sort of a mix between Zorro and Robin Hood. He steals from the rich, gives to the poor, wears the Zorro sort of Spanish outfit. The problem comes in that he takes a fairly hefty cut off the top after stealing from the rich.
Yep, that would do it.
Yep. So when a villain is starting to take over Bruce's favorite superhero Zorro, he just can't have it.
Yep.
Second story deals with an apprentice of Ra's al Ghul, and it's told entirely from the apprentice's standpoint.
Interesting.
Yeah, it was kind of a neat look at Batman.
What is it like working for an immortal guy who could kill you with one blow?
The character seemed to have a lot of pride in his position for having been handpicked. He didn't seem to understand the folly of working for somebody who's immortal and could kill you, and wouldn't think twice about it. But,
Yep.
you know, supervillains, they need their crazy lackeys.
Yep.
ScoobyDoo, Where Are You?
Mm-hmm.
The Scooby Gang goes on an adventure to Arizona and the Grand Canyon. But while they're camping, Shaggy and Scooby run into a group of aliens. And then it's up to...
Yes, that sounds like a Scooby-Doo
Yep.
cartoon right there. Aliens instead of monsters. And
It's aliens, and they have to solve the mystery of Area 49. It was cute!
It's 3 away from Area 51.
Your math is broken.
Yes. 2. Sorry. My math is terrible. Never give me your taxes to do, people.
So, it was a cute book. I'd say it's great for younger, like 6 to 9-year-olds would be my guess.
Yep.
It's got that higher level thinking thing going on, but it was really cute.
Alright, next up we have Zombie Kid Diaries. And in this one, Bill Stokes wants to be in a video game tournament champion. And even being undead won't stop him.
Okay.
So, yeah, this is the, continuation of a certain book that, got sued last year. So they had to change the name and a bunch of other things just to be able to release it again.
Wow.
Now, mind you, the story is okay. I do enjoy the story. It's an interesting character. It's an interesting dynamic. But you do know what this is parodying right off the bat.
And you pick it up knowing what it's parodying.
Exactly. So there's really no big surprises other than it's a bit different of a character now.
Right.
He's still a kid, but he's just an undead zombie whose mother is also a zombie. And he is awesome at video games, being a zombie. So,
okay.
That's pretty much it. I'd say it's okay for kids that do read the books that this is a parody of. If you're a fan of the Wimpy Kid franchise, then yeah, go ahead, check this one out. It's actually pretty fun. Yeah, unless you really don't like parodies, and sometimes I don't even like parodies, especially when they go a little too far, being paired and start being a little too similar. Check this one out, but do be warned.
Well, as a note for people who are zombie or Wimpy Kid fans, what a great Halloween twist.
Yep. Who wouldn't want to kill that little kid?
So, next for me, Little Miss Daredevil. They are giving you a taste of the Little Miss Daredevil, The Amazing Race book that's coming out. It was really cute. In it, Little Miss Daredevil steals a rocket ship, and she has to save the entire galaxy when she accidentally launches a jelly satellite.
Jelly.
And now it's up to you to find out how she gets herself out of this jam.
I can't beat that. Jam. Alright, next up, we have Spacehawk. And this is a reprint of a Silver Age classic series called, Spacehawk.
Alright.
And in this one, oh boy, I hope I can get through this without laughing.
You can do it.
Spacehawk must transfer the brain of a Plutonian police commander into the body of a monster to save the planet Uranus.
Alright.
Yeah. So, yeah. This is weird.
Well, it's from the 70s.
Oh, it's before that. It's before that. But, yeah, I mean, if you are a Silver Age person, this is something that will really ignite your senses here. This is just how weird the stuff from the 40s and 50s and 60s got. This is as weird as it gets, and it's also hilarious in its approach. There's a lot of interesting extras as well presented here, and the story is actually pretty fun, if very crudely drawn. But I still enjoyed it and had a good laugh at the very, 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 very silly nature of this book. Uranus.
Up next for me was Ghostbusters. And in this Ghostbusters, they are called to a toy store to protect it from the monster, from the ghost. It's Ghostbusters. There's not a lot to say.
They bust ghosts and it makes them feel good.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Alright, next up for me is Cowboy Hallows. And in this one, young Boyd Linney is a bounty hunter known as Cowboy. And on Hallows Eve, he meets the legendary Billy the Kid.
That looks adorable.
It's quite adorable. Here's the thing about this kid is, he's out bounty hunting his family. Yeah, you heard me. Yeah. Basically, his family did him wrong. So he's become pretty much a bounty hunter to hunt down his family. So he has no qualms with Billy the Kid. He's only hunting his family. So him and Billy the Kid kind of hang out. It's interesting. It's cute. It's not done in a serious tone, so it works.
Okay.
And the artwork is really, really nice. I would actually compare it to, I'd say Calvin and Hobbes. Stylistically, it's very similar. I do really enjoy the character work here, and it is actually quite cute to look at.
Is the tone sort of Calvin and Hobbes as well?
Very much so. It's very imagination-based and everything, and it's a lot of fun. I'd say I'd recommend it for kids probably 6 and up. It's just a fun little thing, and you get a tiny, tiny bit of history as well.
Alright. Next for me is Ernest and Rebecca.
Such a great book.
I'm going to have to look into reading more of them, because this was really good. Mm-hmm. I really, really liked it.
One of my favorite, basically, European series that I do pick up every now and then.
Cool. In this one, Rebecca was sent to spend the summer with her grandma and grandpa in the country. Mm-hmm. And she's taken Ernest with her. And this book focuses on her trying to get into a club of some of the local boys. Ah. What I liked about it is that on the first page it says that Rebecca is the daughter of a broken family. And it deals with that. I really loved how they were sensitive to the subject. It's great for any kid, though I would specifically say smaller girls whose parents are getting separated or divorced. Mm-hmm. This is a great thing that will help them get through that. So, if you're a parent and that's what you're looking at, or a teacher, or whatever, if you know a small girl whose parents are getting separated or divorced, I would go looking for this book because it might very well help them.
Next up, my last book for Free Comic Day for Halloween is New Crusaders. And in this one, the Crusaders must come out of retirement when Brain Emperor attacks and forces them to fight back and recruit a set of new Crusaders.
Cool.
Alright, so what's going on here is Archie is trying to do the superhero thing again. This is a new imprint from Archie Studios, and it will basically have all new superheroes, starting with the new Crusaders, and then they're going to expand it a little later. So, are these characters interesting? Not really. they're all tropes we've seen before. And that's kind of sad. As hard as I know it is to make new tropes for superheroes and everything, I was really expecting a bit more. The writer is Ian Flynn, who did quite a few TV series and stuff that I have enjoyed, but I didn't really like it here. You don't really get a feel for these characters, and that's kind of sad. Now, it is a number type of 0, so if you want to check out the series, it's a good way to start.
Right.
But I can't highly recommend it. But if you have kids, probably in the early teens, yeah, I'd say check this one out. If they're into superheroes, it's at least something that they could start off fresh with.
Right.
Even though the tropes are very similar to other tropes.
It's a great thing for somebody to join into.
Yeah.
Cool. And last but not least, wrapping things up so that hopefully Evil Muppet Jim will give us back our comic books.
I doubt he will.
No!
He's just that evil.
Well, I'm crossing fingers. Adventure Time. This is the same story as the first one in the Free Comic Book Day book. So it deals again with BMO, the handheld computer, wanting to be the best fighter. So Finn and Jake and Princess Bubblegum decide to teach him. But unfortunately, being a computer, BMO lacks some of the necessary things like, you know, strength.
Emotions?
Well, no, he has limited strength, so he can't flip Finn around the way that Princess Bubblegum does. But he teaches them about battle words and teaches them how to give insults. It was really cute. I really love the art style. I like that it's silly. I wouldn't recommend it for anybody younger than about 12, personally.
Yep.
I
would agree, yep.
I'd say this is a teenager to early 20s type of comic book and television show. But I just love it so much, and it's super cute. So, if you hit that range of being in your mid to late teens through to your early to mid 20s, pick it up, do it, especially if you missed the Free Comic Book Day one, because this is an excerpt from Adventure Time #1.
Alright, so that brings us to the close of another fun Halloween episode. And hey, none of us died.
Yes!
So we will see you next week for our finale of Alternative October. See you next week.
Bye, guys.